There comes a moment in every season when a franchise feels the ground shift beneath its feet, a moment when the truth can't be ignored, when the whispers in the hallway become thunder, and when a head coach realizes the fire under him isn't just pressure, it's a warning. And in Atlanta, that moment has arrived. For weeks, Falcons fans have sensed something was wrong. The energy felt unstable. The mistakes felt familiar. And every Sunday, the weight on Raheem Morris's shoulders grew heavier, even if nobody said it out loud. But now, someone has finally said it. A new report has burst out of the walls of the Falcons facility. Not speculation, not fan frustration, but information pulled directly from voices inside the locker room and the front office. According to CBS insider Jack Jones, the Falcons' leaders feel the heat. Not just Morris. Not just the assistants. The entire building knows the clock is ticking. And for the first time all season, there is no attempt to hide it. Atlanta has dropped 5 straight. They've blown leads, survived heartbreak, and lived through back-to-back overtime failures that took the hope right out of their lungs. And all of this while the NFC South sits wide open, a division begging to be won by any team that can simply reach 10 victories. But the Falcons haven't climbed. They've slipped. Behind the scenes, the tension is unmistakable. Jones wrote that the people inside Flowery Branch feel their seats warming. No guarantees. No promises. 6 games left, and everything, absolutely everything, is on the line. And yet a single quote from the report cuts through all the noise like a blade. You won't find a coach who doesn't want to coach this roster. That is the sentence that changes everything. Because it means one thing: Atlanta isn't losing because of talent. They're losing because of leadership. Every coach in the league sees what's on this roster. Bijan Robinson electrifying defenders. Drake London towering over corners. Tyler Algier's bruising power. Jalen, James Pierce, Diablo, Caden Ellis, A.J. Terrell, a defense loaded with hunger. And behind them, the next wave, Billy Bowman, Xavier Watts, Jesse Bates, and more. The Falcons have stars. They have youth. They have fire. What they don't have, right now, is direction. Even Arthur Blank, one of the most patient owners in all of football, is watching closely. Too closely. The article made that clear. If this team doesn't fight back in the final stretch, change is coming. Big change. So here we are, a talented roster. A frustrated city. A patient owner running out of patience. And a head coach whose seat isn't warm anymore, it's burning. This is the moment that will decide the future of the Atlanta Falcons. The question now is simple: will they rise? Or will the fire swallow everything? The Falcons season has become a tightrope stretched over fire, and Raheem Morris is standing in the middle of it with no margin left for mistakes. For months, fans kept telling themselves the same thing: this roster is too talented to be falling apart like this. But talent can only take a team so far. At some point, it has to be molded, sharpened, and pushed into something unstoppable. And this coaching staff, Morris, Robinson, all of them, has failed to turn that talent into wins. Now the clock is ticking. 6 games. 6 chances to save a season, and maybe save a job. Because the truth is brutal: if Atlanta suddenly wakes up, goes on a run, and crashes into the postseason, Morris has a chance to survive. But if they collapse again? If the losing continues? If the same mistakes keep repeating? This era ends. And here's where the story gets complicated, because the path isn't impossible. 3 of the next 6 opponents are wounded teams sitting below .500, the Jets, the Cardinals, the Saints. Winnable games. Games a playoff team should control. Then come the battles that matter even more: Seattle, Los Angeles, Tampa Bay. Take down the Buccaneers. Steal one against either the Seahawks or the Rams. Do that, and suddenly the Falcons aren't staring at the draft board, they're staring at a postseason ticket. As a Falcons fan, the emotions twist in every direction. You want the playoffs. You want those big moments. You want to feel that surge of hope that only January football brings. But at the same time, there's a part of you whispering, If they succeed, Morris stays. If they fail, maybe a new future begins. It's the cruelest kind of conflict, cheering with your heart while arguing with your head. But here's the one thing fans agree on: no matter what, they'll root for this team until the last second of the last game. If the Falcons fall apart, then let the rebuild begin. If they rise from the ashes and punch their ticket to the playoffs, then push forward with everything they have. And at the center of this storm stands one man, Kirk Cousins. Quarterback play decides seasons. It decides jobs. It decides legacies. If Kirk stabilizes this offense, if he stops the mistakes, if he becomes the steady hand everyone hoped for, the Falcons can claw their way back into the fight. Against the Saints, he wasn't perfect. He wasn't terrible. He simply survived. The pick six, part miscommunication, part hesitation, was a reminder that one wrong step can break everything. So now the question becomes the heartbeat of the entire season. Was that performance a stumble? Or a warning? Can Kirk carry this team, steady this locker room, and write a comeback story when everything is shaking beneath him? Or is this who he is, flashes of brilliance wrapped in uncertainty? Nobody knows yet. But the next 6 games will reveal the truth about Kirk, about Raheem, about this coaching staff, and about the future of the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins is the strange crossroads of this entire Falcons season. He's the quarterback who might save them, or the quarterback whose success forces Atlanta into an expensive future they're not sure they want. And that tension, that uneasiness, hangs over everything right now. Because if Kirk starts stacking wins, nobody cares about contracts, age, or long-term plans. Winning erases doubt. Winning forgives flaws. Winning keeps jobs alive. And Raheem Morris knows that better than anyone. This week, he was asked a simple question with a complicated truth hidden inside it. Why does the offense look so different with Cousins than it did with Michael Penix Jr.? Raheem didn't dodge. He didn't sugarcoat. He laid it bare. Cousins walks into the building with a veteran's authority, a voice that carries weight, experience, and decades of football scars. When Kirk talks about protections, schemes, adjustments, he isn't offering suggestions, he's shaping the offense around what he knows works. It was the kind of honesty that reveals everything Falcons fans feared. There was a disconnect. A gap. A miscommunication between the young QB and the man calling the plays. Either Penix didn't feel comfortable pushing his ideas on the coaching staff, or Zach Robinson wasn't listening. Both options are bad. Both options explain the chaos. And it gets worse when you look at the numbers. Against the Saints, Atlanta ran 13 personnel, 1 back, 3 tight ends, a stunning 33 times. 60% of the offense. The highest rate by any NFL team in nearly a decade. Where was this when Penix was playing? Where was this heavy protection? Where was this commitment to helping the rookie survive? Atlanta spent the 8th pick on a quarterback, but didn't give him the support they just gave the veteran. 4 tight ends on the roster, Pitts, Cano, Franks, Warner, and they barely used them when the rookie needed them most. They only unlocked that formation when Cousins arrived. This isn't preference. This is mismanagement. This is a coaching staff adjusting too late. And yet, now that the identity is finally taking shape, you can see the blueprint for how the Falcons win with Cousins. Step 1. Keep him under center. The offense looks real, disciplined, and balanced when he's not in the pistol. Let him operate like the veteran he is. Step 2. Lean into the wide zone run game. Put motion on every snap. Slide the tight ends left and right. Let Bijan breathe. Let him read, glide, explode. Outside runs aren't just plays. They're opportunities to put the ball in the hands of a magician. Step 3. Use the tight ends. All of them. If you keep 4, use 4. Let Pitts move around the formation like a queen on a chessboard. Let the others block, chip, seal edges, and create mismatches. Step 4. Control the pistol. Don't drown in it. 10 snaps or fewer. No more of the 36-snap experiments that buried Penix. Use the pistol as a wrinkle, not a lifestyle. Do these things, and Atlanta can win games. Do these things, and Kirk can give this team a pulse again. Do these things, and Raheem Morris might just keep his job a little longer. But here's the truth this city already feels in its bones: this team is running out of road. The predictions range from bleak to hopeful. Maybe 6 wins, maybe 7, maybe one last push toward respectability. But the reality is harsher. Seattle is strong. The Rams are dangerous. Tampa Bay is unpredictable. The Falcons are fighting not just opponents, but their own inconsistency, their own identity, their own mistakes. And as this season winds toward its final chapter, one question hangs over Atlanta like a storm cloud: are they about to rise, or are they about to break apart?